What's up, guys? It's been a while. So if you haven't been following me on Discord or the HTCG community, well, you would know that I have been working on Oversoul and sort of made some changes to the game. I think the last time I made a video, like, I was trying to do some stuff and I decided not to go with it. But I did make a 2-player starter set, and we're going to be opening it. I just got it today, and yeah, let's get into it. So this is it. It's a fire versus water kind of 2-player starter deck. You got your boss monsters on the front or your master souls. This looks really dope, actually. So I went for the jumbo box, and because I like the specific way it looked. But dang, man, I don't know, I just really like it. It just feels nice. Let me make sure you guys can see it. Make sure it's focusing. There we go. And yeah, you got Oversoul at the top here. It looks so beautiful with the gradient. Oh man, I actually really like the way this came out. You got the bottom with the gradient. Over here you have Roar of Flames, which is the fire deck in here. And you have Blaze Dragon here. And this is I don't know how to pronounce the name off bat. I have to read it. But this was drawn by Spiral Sketches. If I can get his info, I'll put it down in the description. But he's pretty cool. He's making his own stuff, and he's a really great artist. So yeah. And then you have Torrents of Leviathans. Alright, so we're gonna get into opening this. I'm really excited to see this because I tried doing some things different. Let me actually make sure I can see what I'm doing correctly. Yeah, I made some some changes to this. Come on. There we go. And excuse the background. I started recording and forgot to turn off the TV, but yeah. I do have the linen texture. I actually like this. It has some nice grip to it. It just feels nice. Dude. Alright. Oh yeah, in the back it tells you everything you have. What is Oversoul TCG? Oversoul TCG is a strategy card game where 2 or more players battle it out to prove who has the strongest soul. This 2-player starter set contains everything needed to start playing the game with a friend. And then it has Roar of Flames with a deck list. And then Torrents of Leviathans with a deck list. Follow me on YouTube, Mango's Tree, and my little Sin Mango. Alright, so, ooh, I didn't mean to bend it. Damn it. Alright, so we're going to open this up, and there's a lot of space in here, actually. That's actually pretty cool, I guess. And, yeah, I think did they put them together? I don't know how to feel about that, but here's a rule document. This is a little awkward. But yeah, what? So I'm not sure if you guys can tell, but it kind of printed this way. I'm going to try to fix it, but at least it's readable. Yeah, it looks awesome though. So yeah, now you have a front to back rule document, and yeah. So we're gonna put that to the side. Alright. And if I'm gonna check to see, because if I have to, then I'll just rearrange everything. Yeah, I'm gonna rearrange everything. So I'll be back. Alright, and I've got these things all sorted out. If you see here, there is this sort of extra info card for anything that couldn't fit within the 2 rules, the 2-sided rule sheet. Now, the reason why I did this is because when you order on the Game Crafter, there's a little bit of space left over since these are 40 card decks. So I used one of those, the cards and the leftover cards, I'm sorry, to just, is there, man, that thing's warped or something? I don't know. Anyways, to create this extra info card for things that you, the players might need to know. So it is the front and back. So yeah, It's pretty cool, actually. Now then, we're gonna start with the fire deck. Now, alright, let's do this. So first of all, these cards feel nice with linen texture. Like, it's not, like, you can see the linen texture, but you don't really feel it that much. And it just feels right. And it looks, the card backs, see, I think there was like something wrong with like the UV coating, and it messed up the way that the card backs looked. And these just look so much better without UV coating. They feel better, they feel thicker, and I think that's because of the linen texture. They just feel nice. And they don't feel very glossy or plasticky. Yeah, man, these, really proud of this back, actually. This is really cool. And then when you do that, oh, that's so cool. So these things actually cut really well. Like, there's not too much of a drift. Now then, let's get into this. We have 4 copies of Blaze Dragon. Blaze Dragon is the boss of the deck, and it cannot be blocked, which is really good. But it's a 400 power with 1 hit. But that may seem kind of weak, but he can't be blocked. And with his second ability, when you summon him, you can choose. You can pay 2, and you can choose to pay the cost. And if you do, you can destroy anything that's 300 power or less. So he's really good for removal, especially for shields. Then we got some vanillas. We have 4 copies of Burn Devil King, who is now a level 6. And first of all, I really love the new template, man. I'm actually really proud of it. Like, I don't know what it is, but the cards just feel right. This is what Oversoul should like. Like, I know, like, for the people who've seen it digitally, it doesn't do it justice, dude. You gotta see this, like, in your hands. It just looks, it just feels nice. So we have 4 copies of Burning Devil King, 4 copies of Lady Scorch, 4 copies of Burn Critter, 3 copies of Heat the Kid. Now, Heat the Kid's good is because he has Burst 600, and so what Burst means that any fire creature or fire soul that starts below the specific burst amount, whenever it reaches or surpasses that burst, it activates its ability. So when he becomes 600 power, or he goes over 600, and he has to be below 600 for it to activate, he can look at the top 3 cards of your deck, or you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck and add a card from among them, and then shuffle the rest into your deck. So that's really good. That's really good at just like getting things into your hand and all that stuff. So that I put it in there because I felt like it could help out with just little things like this could help out in a starter deck. Next we have 3 copies of Fire Charger. It is a blessing spell that gives all fire souls you control plus 50 power during your turn only. Next we have another spell, Fire Blast. We have 4 copies of that, and it destroys anything that's 300 power or less, or that your opponent controls. 2 copies of Burst of Passion. So what this thing does is you get to choose a soul you control. It'll get 300 power and plus 1 hit, but at the end of the turn you have to destroy it. So you might want to make sure you know exactly what you want to give this to. Next we get to the triggers, and we have Triple Threat. And another cool thing is that, so for titles or like archetypes, there's like this little space at the top where I write it down. So this is a fire formation spell, but you get 4 copies of that. And if anybody remembers the old version of this, it really sucked, but the newer version is actually really good. So basically what it does is you get to choose up to 3 flame souls you control, and you get to distribute, they get plus 300 power distributed however you want. And the cool thing about it is that most of the cards in this deck are flames, and it's a permanent gain. So if you give it all to one specific card, then it permanently gets that plus 300 power. And if you get this guy during a damage check, and you're scared that somebody's going to destroy something during the damage, during their battle phase, then, well, yeah, you can just give them this, but only if it's a flame. Next, our soul triggers, our level 1 soul triggers. You just get 4 copies of Foo 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 Flame, and 4 copies of Ember Tusk Blazer. Now, there are some cards in here, sadly, that have the sample text over them, the watermark, like this one. So I have to go back and kind of change that, make sure it looks right. But other than that, man, these cards look fresh, man. Dude, they look so dope. I love them. Holy crap. Jesus Christ. Especially this one. This one is... Oh. Next, we have the water deck. So we have the boss monster, Spectre Well Violet Musculus. He's a level 6 Leviathan soul with 1 hit and 600 power. And he's not bad. He's not good, but he's actually pretty decent. He's not bad for a starter deck boss. But what he does is you get to forget 2 cards from your graveyard. And in this game, forget is the equivalent of banish or exile in other games. Unless you're like Kaijudo or something like that. But when you do forget 2 cards, you get to choose a spell or a soul your opponent controls and send it to their hand. So it's basically a bounce effect. That if your graveyard's full of cards, you can just bounce how many ever you want. So yeah, it's pretty dope. Next we have Dread Skull Leviathan, 4 copies of that. It's a vanilla. Shell Defender, 4 copies. It has shield and it cannot attack, so it can block attacks whenever your opponent chooses to attack. Next we have Pelicaneel. And this guy's pretty good because when it's in your graveyard, you can pay 2 and summon it from your graveyard. But when it dies or when it's destroyed, you have to forget it. Next we have 3 copies of Toss. Toss is a pretty cool card. It's a blessing that it's pretty much a spell negate is what it is. It's a turn 4 spell negate. Next we have 3 copies of Call of Leviathan. This one's pretty cool. You get to forget a card from your graveyard to search your deck for any Leviathan. So you can search for Dread Skull Leviathan, or you can search for your boss, which I can't remember. Hold on, let me cheat. Spectre Well Violet Musculus. Next we have 4 copies of Bubble Vortex. Bubble Vortex has a different ability now. It's a quick ability and you can pay 1. If a water soul you control were to be destroyed, destroy this card instead. So it's pretty cool, pretty strong. Next we have a new version of Psychic Disruption. Forget 1 soul from your graveyard. Destroy target soul your opponent controls with power less than or equal to the soul you forgot. You can only play 1 Psychic Disruption per turn. So in something like this, if you're playing against your opponent and they have something that you really don't like, you can just use this to remove it. Now it is a little tricky when going against fire since all of their cards tend to get big, very big hitters with a lot of power. And so if you were to use this, you really need to get rid of your opponent's stuff whenever you can very quickly. Musculus is a really good target for this card to forget, or the Dread Skull Leviathan, but at the same time those are kind of like your big boys, you know, you kind of want them. Next we have our triggers. So we have 4 copies of Carolella Star. The name was changed slightly, I know, it is a fruit now, archetype spell thing. And you can draw 2 cards, then discard 1 card. So it's really good with water who wants to use the graveyard, because that's the playstyle of water, to use the graveyard for stuff. We have Puff Cheek Puffer, who no longer has a shield. And now we have Stalker Frog. And yeah, Stalker Frog's a trigger now, so yeah. Frogs have a very different playstyle than what they used to have. It's they're pretty cool. They're kind of strong. They're a little scary, but yeah. So oops, let me fix this. Alright, so that's about it for this video. You have your 2-player starter set. Water, which should be on the other side. I should probably swap them around, but I'm lazy. It comes with a 1 water deck, 1 fire deck. Strong enough, or at least they come with cards to really help you out, especially when you want a deck build. You know, be creative with whatever you want. Comes with a extra info card, double-sided, and a awkward rule document. I mean, at least I can read it, so that's really good. And sorry for the background again. I was watching a Triff stream, and if you don't know who Triff is, Triff Gaming, basically.
Let's go!